Have you ever wished that someone could simply take your hand and guide you through life? Someone who already knows the road ahead, someone who protects you when you feel afraid, comforts you when you feel broken, and never leaves your side no matter what happens. We all have moments where life feels confusing. Sometimes we move through days filled with peace and happiness, and sometimes we walk through days filled with worries, pain, and questions that we do not know how to answer. In this journey together, let us take a closer look at one of the most peaceful and comforting chapters in the Bible, Psalm 23, and uncover the beautiful message hidden within it. This chapter is one of the most loved chapters in the Bible because it speaks directly to the human heart. It was written by David, a man who understood both peaceful seasons and difficult seasons. Before David became king, he was a shepherd. He spent years taking care of sheep, watching over them, protecting them from danger, and leading them to safe places. Because of this, David understood something important. Sheep depend completely on their shepherd. Without guidance, sheep can become lost, confused, and wander into dangerous places. Using this picture, David begins showing us what our relationship with God can look like. The psalm begins by saying, "The Lord is my shepherd." These words may sound simple, but they carry a very deep meaning. David is not saying God is only powerful or great. He is saying God is personal. He is saying God is someone close. A shepherd does not simply stand far away and watch sheep from a distance. A shepherd walks with them. He pays attention to them, he protects them, and he cares about them. This becomes meaningful because many people go through life feeling unnoticed or forgotten. Some people smile on the outside while carrying pain inside. Some people feel alone even when surrounded by others. Sometimes people wonder whether anyone truly understands what they are going through. It gently reminds us that God sees every part of our lives. He notices the tears nobody else notices. He understands the silent battles nobody else knows about. David then paints a beautiful picture by speaking about green pastures and still waters. Imagine standing in a peaceful place where there is no noise, no pressure, no stress, and no fear. Today, many people live with constant pressure. Minds are filled with worries about work, relationships, family problems, responsibilities, and the future. Even when people are resting physically, their minds often continue carrying heavy burdens. Psalm 23 reminds us that God does not only care about our physical needs, He also cares about our emotional and spiritual needs. Sometimes the soul becomes tired. People can become exhausted inside without realizing it. Stress, disappointment, fear, and pain can slowly take away joy and peace. That is why the chapter says, "He restores my soul." In simple words, God gives new strength to hearts that feel tired and empty. Life has a way of making people feel worn out. Maybe someone has failed many times and feels discouraged. Maybe someone is carrying sadness that they cannot explain. Maybe someone feels pressure and thinks they are not strong enough to continue. It also reminds us that God can restore what feels weak. He can bring hope into discouragement and peace into confusion. The chapter then talks about being led on right paths. This is something many people struggle with because life constantly places decisions in front of us. People often ask themselves questions like, "Am I making the right choice? Am I moving in the right direction? What if I fail?" Sometimes uncertainty creates fear. Think of walking through an unfamiliar place at night without a map. You would probably walk slowly because you would not know where you are going. But imagine someone standing beside you who already knows the entire path. Suddenly the fear becomes smaller because someone else already knows the way. God guides people through life even when they cannot clearly see what lies ahead. One of the strongest parts of Psalm 23 speaks about walking through dark valleys. Every person experiences valleys at some point in life. These valleys can appear in many forms. For one person, it may be sadness. For another, it may be loneliness. For someone else, it may be fear, heartbreak, sickness, disappointment, or struggles within the family. David never says, "I stay in the valley." He says, "I walk through the valley." That difference matters because valleys are not places where we are meant to remain, but places we pass through. And whatever pain you feel today will not last forever. Fear may try to control your thoughts for a season, but it will not stay forever. And darkness may make the journey hard right now, but even the darkest moments come to an end. because difficult times are only a part of life and not the whole story. David then says something extremely comforting. I will fear no evil because you are with me. Notice that David does not say there are no dangers. He does not say life suddenly becomes easy. Instead, he focuses on something greater, that is the presence of God. Many people believe peace only comes when problems disappear. But Psalm 23 teaches us something different. Real peace is not found in having a perfect life without struggles. Real peace comes from knowing that even during difficult situations, you are not facing them alone. Near the end of the chapter, David begins speaking with confidence. He says that goodness and mercy will follow him all the days of his life. He finishes with hope rather than fear. He chooses trust rather than worry. And before ending this journey together, I want to leave you with this thought that Psalm 23 is more than a chapter about a shepherd and sheep. It is a reminder that life may take us through peaceful fields and dark valleys, through joyful moments and difficult seasons, but we never walk those roads alone. There may be days when you cannot understand where life is leading you, but the one guiding you already sees what lies ahead. Even when the road becomes difficult, keep moving forward because God is still walking beside you.